Hi everyone, welcome back. It's Mo aka Swedish Whiskey Girl, and today we're here with the Canadian Club. Once again, I have lovely friends, and one lovely friend, Nicola, let me try a little bit of her bottle. So this will soon be going back to her. And this is a 44-year-old Canadian Club in the Chronicles series, and sits at 45% ABV. I believe it was sold for something around $250 to $300. And this brand has quite an interesting story to it. It just says Canadian whiskey. I would guess it's some sort of grain whiskey if you were comparing it to Scotch, because that's what they tend to be. And Canadian Club is super popular and has been popular a little bit due to the fact that during Prohibition, the Canadian border being really close to the American border opened up, so they were possible to smuggle whiskey over the border. And it became, I think it was at one point the most smuggled whiskey in America. And since then, since it was so popular at that time, it's just continued to be popular since then. Founded by Hiram Walker in the 1800s, I believe, if I remember correctly. There's too much whiskey history, I feel, sometimes. And it was originally known, I think, as club whiskey because it was served to gentlemen in clubs. And after a while, the Americans changed their kind of rules and regulations that you had to have the country of origin. Country of origin? How do I say origin? Origin? Oh well. So that you had to put Canadian on it, so Canadian Club instead of club whiskey. And I believe in 2017 they started bottling this series, which was the oldest age-stated Canadian whiskey to date. They started with a 40-year-old and a 41. I think they did 42, 43, 44 and 45, but I can be wrong about that. And this is a 44-year-old. It also has a really nice little story here on this side. So this collection, this is issue number 4 of the Whiskey Sixes. So Canadian Club became the unofficial whiskey of Prohibition through the ingenuity and diligence, I can't read today or speak, of the bootleggers who smuggled Canadian Club across the Detroit River. In the winter months, they would drive across the frozen river in lighter vehicles. That was dubbed the Whiskey Sixes, hence the name, and because of their smaller 6-cylinder engines. And I'll show you here. I don't know much about the cask maturation put together, but I'm excited to try it. Let's start having a look on the nose. Definitely smells like a grain whiskey. Ooh, which you know I absolutely love. And when I say grain whiskey, I mean that desserty, sweet treat. It's a little bit heavier than, because I usually talk about vanilla ice cream when I talk about grain whiskey, but this feels darker and more brown in a way, if we're talking colours. You're probably a little bit more chocolatey, probably. Like if you had like chocolate roasted oats, perhaps. I believe Canadian Club has a history of using corn in their whiskies, and I believe the 40-year-old was 100% corn, but I'm not sure about the mash bill for this one. It also has almost like a floral note, which almost feels a bit sea salty. There's some like golden woodiness. Almost like a pear fruitiness as well. More green fruits than tropical fruits, which I think is quite interesting. Well, let's have a little taste. Sláinte Skål. Oh, the first thing you get is the texture of it. It's quite... what am I trying to talk about? Quite silky, but a fuller body than I was expecting. It has... There's like this wave of flavour that washes over you, but then you get quite a lot of like prickly spice, which might be the alcohol. But a 45, it's not too high. Well, I'm so sneezy. Jesus. I was just about to say it's grassy, which is quite funny because I'm allergic to grass. So maybe it's just tricking my nose a little bit. Yeah, a little bit grassy and woody. But quite a nice soft balance. It's that kind of green whiskey, sweet character surrounding it all, which means I don't really mind it. It would have maybe been, for a whiskey this old, I would have wanted like another layer of depth, just something else to like bring it out a little bit more. It's a nice character. It's a lovely kind of put together mix of flavors, but to really bring it to the next level, I'd want something else just to lift it. Maybe a little bit more fruitiness or something that really draws you in, I think. Almost has a little bit of a chalky note, which I have found on some older whiskies, so I wonder if, I'm not really sure exactly where that comes from. But interesting nonetheless. I mean, for a 44-year-old whiskey, if you retail that around like $250, $300, that's actually not bad for a whiskey that old. So it's always worth checking grain whiskies or Canadian whiskies, it seems, for if you want to try something older and you like a bit of sweetness, they might be a good one to try because they're usually quite affordable compared to single malts. Yeah. Interesting. Have you tried Canadian Club? Have you tried any of these Chronicles series? Have you tried any of their core releases? Which ones do you like? Which ones don't you like? Please let me know in the section here below. I hope you've enjoyed this video, of course, and if you have, please consider leaving maybe a thumbs up or consider subscribing if you haven't already. That would make me so, so happy. But I hope you'll stick around and watch the next review, which will be out in a few days again. And until then, Sláinte Skål.